So everybody on the panel covered an awful lot of ground. And I guess I have to say that it's probably one of the most optimistic discussions of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on society that I've participated in during the past few months. So with the focus very much on the need for change and the potential of these new technologies. So we've gone over time already by about 10 minutes, but I do want to just raise at least a few of the questions that have struck me and have come in from some of the participants. But I will want to close everything by 1 o'clock Central European time. And so that gives us about 10 minutes. So what I'll do is just pose some of the questions, and then I will take you all to come in response to any of them that you choose to. Just with a few minutes, please. You really have to keep your remarks quite short, so that we can finish in 10 minutes, or 9 minutes actually it is. So a few of the questions, don't feel the need to answer all of them if you don't want to. Excuse me. Now, the first one is about Greece, and the point is being made that despite what seems to be great human capital in Greece, and obviously among Greeks working abroad as well, not least here where I am in London, Greece has been a laggard in terms of tech readiness and innovation and so on. So I just wanted to ask you all about that, why you think that has been the case. Is it perhaps because previous governments have not been receptive and not been active in terms of seizing the opportunities presented by new technology, and that Greece has therefore fallen behind? So that's one question. Why has Greece been such a laggard? And it's now an opportunity for Greece to jump ahead, and what would be, the main drivers for that? Obviously, we talked about the pandemic and how that's hastened a lot of changes, but so that's a specific question about Greece, and maybe our first speaker can come back on that, but anybody else who wants to comment on it. A second question that came in was for all of you is, I think this relates a lot to what Efi was saying at the end. Does all this that you've talked about mean the end of traditional financial services, traditional, for example, branch-based banking? Do you agree that that's basically going to be dead and buried by 2025, within the next few years? Or are we going to see something else happening in the way that maybe Efi suggested, that instead of this being an out-and-out competition, that it's going to develop into more collaborative relationships between incumbents and new players, and governments and digital startups and other institutions, and so on? So just how do you all see that playing out? So, are the neobanks a threat, or are they actually already forcing the incumbents to change what they're doing? And the final question is, in terms of spurring change, what do you see as being most important is right now? Is it the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, or are the other factors that some of you talked about much more important? So that's the questions. You don't have to respond to all of them, but let's take everybody just for very briefly, one minute, 2 minutes, answers to at least one of those questions. So shall we start with Mr. Anagnostopoulos? Do you want to
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I'd like to comment. Starting from the last question, yes, I would say that it's not COVID-19, it's the issue of digital transformation in Greece. This is our national do it, and yes, concerning our country, we have a lot of and also a concrete, I would say, national plan, a strategic plan to do so. This will be presented in the forthcoming days, and I'm sure that you'll see a major change in what Greece seems to do in the technology era. I would also like to comment on the first question. Yes, you're absolutely right. The person that has asked this question concerning the digital skills and, of course, the human capital of Greece. We are very proud to have one of the top positions in OECD. I would say ranking concerning the STEM graduates in Greece. I think that we are sixth in ranking. Needless to say that we don't take advantage of this human capital, and we have lots of people that have gone abroad and succeeded when being in UK or in other destinations. We have to do a lot more concerning the taking advantage of our human capital here in Greece, and also provide all the necessary capabilities for doing so concerning entrepreneurship and also infrastructure and stable legislation and taxation system and regulation. And I would say that in the forthcoming months or years, I'm sure that our ranking concerning both the readiness and also our position in the DESI index will much improve. This has not been shown so far because the latest rankings concerned data up to September 2019. I think our position in the DESI index will much improve in this year's rankings. And the second question referred to the potential or imminent change of the banking system and also the I just want to say that concerning the human-centric approach and capabilities, the same stands for public administration as in the banking sector. I think that we have to provide tools and capabilities both for people who are in the technology era much more concerned and capable, and also provide for the ones which are not. And thus expect that both traditional ways for interacting with citizens and clients will pop up in the near future, as well as provision of much more modern and extensive capabilities be the direction that we have all to move on, and let the ones who can take advantage of such capabilities do so. So that's my position in these issues.
Thank you very much indeed. Mr. Karamanolis?
Yes, I would like only to mention that government initiatives regarding digital transformation or the development of skills for the public sector, etc., are very important. Also, they develop the demand for digital services. And when you have the demand and the overall digital culture of a society, I think there are great engineers in Greece, technology startups, in order to respond to this demand. Yeah, this is one thing. The other is that, okay, of course, you have to provide at the government level, have to be provided more incentives related to technology based startups. And I think the government is working on that. And there are a lot of instruments announced recently. I strongly believe that two are the basic pillars of technology, entrepreneurship, and digital transformation in Greece. From the startup aspect of the conversation, the government initiatives play a great role. The provision of open data from the government is also a critical success factor for the technology startup ecosystem. And of course, the collaboration and incubation and acceleration with by the banks of new startup technology startup companies is also important. It's something that could improve the internal processes of the bank. It's something that will bring innovation and more opportunities for the local tech ecosystem.
Great, thank you very much. And Mr. Green.
I will be super concrete and short. Pass a law by the end of the month that as of Q4, each and every corporate with over 1,000 employees in any industry, including the financial sector, has to nominate 3 board members who are specialized with technology and innovation. And I promise you, you'll see the results in 2021. This is the fastest way to implement it around all the companies. This is the first tip. There are 9 more, but we don't have time.
Okay, thank you very much. And finally, Efi.
So I have a great idea that you all inspired me, Mr. Anagnostopoulos and Mr. Green. Why not pass a law in Greece where every Greek company has to have on their board one Greek person like myself that is living abroad and is tech specialized, and that becomes a requirement, and that way we transfuse all the knowledge and the passion that we have for our country in a very quick, remote way. And in the meantime, we also work on building an ecosystem and a network here that can bring us all back. But that is something that can be done immediately.
Okay,
Mr.
thank you very much.
Anagnostopoulos, I leave the idea with you.
Why not? I concur. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
So we had
You're
some very,
absolutely
very practical advice and tips there. So let's see if they get taken up in the next few weeks and months.
Okay.
I'd like to thank all the speakers on this final panel and all the speakers for their participation in the whole event, in our 3 panels. It's been a great discussion. It's been great to have you with us. I would also like to thank all our sponsors who helped to make the event possible and have been very important in making it happen. And that is Innovate Israel, Guarantee BBVA of Romania, the Alba Graduate Business School, Wind, Aegean Airlines, Qantas, Avritron, Pobutsa, DHL, and HMI and partners. Thanks to all our sponsors, thanks to all our speakers, and thanks to everybody who joined us for these very important discussions today and for your questions. So that's it from me, and thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.